Welcome to the VALT Podcast. We are your car culture cultivators. I'm Sean, and of course, we are joined with...
Vijay, hey, how's it going?
And Joe. How's it going, everybody?
Nice. Good to see you, gentlemen. Great show in store, as always, today. Joe, what do we have on the agenda?
So, just quickly recapping last week's episode, if you needed evidence that the car market was severely down or that the economy was turning, today a car sold on a Bring a Trailer. And at first glance, you think this is like really expensive,
$170.
Right? $170,000, 130 miles, S2000. But if you scroll down and keep moving and doing all that jazz,
Previous listings.
looking at the photos, you go to the previous listing and see that this car sold 2 years ago to 7 miles less for $200,000. So this guy unfortunately drove the car 7 miles and lost 30 grand.
Yeah, hold this L. Seriously.
I don't know what thought this was a good idea to sell a car right now, especially a car this collectible. But he is holding the bag, and that the rest is history. But
he was an idiot for buying an S2000 for $170,000.
yeah.
No,
way.
$200,000.
$200,000?
Plus
no way, dude.
plus fee, 5,000 plus $5,000 fee. I mean, so this is good consumer advice. If you have a car and you're thinking about selling it, just don't right now. You're going to lose money.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with the CR package, it's literally it's the same motor and transmission, right? It's just the trim.
Yeah.
It's a different trim.
I think it's like a final year.
Yeah. That's
so.
ridiculous.
The last final edition Club Racer
Yeah.
of the S2000.
But you're not
does
getting
have-
any more. I think there's maybe a suspension.
Well, it has
Upgrade
130
on it.
miles. That's
Yeah.
the big one. It's like literally brand new.
Yeah.
Like museum condition, supposed to be.
He drove it back basically to his warehouse and then never touched it again, and then lost 30 grand on it. Just imagine what that 30 grand would have done in 2 years in the stock market.
Yeah.
would have been like 50.
Dude, you could have done the same thing with a nice Porsche, put miles on it, drove it back and forth to work every day,
And like broken even or something.
and
at
then
least.
broke even. Yeah, sold it for the same price.
Yeah. But this is life. If you have a car that's special, don't sell it right now because it's not the right time.
Could have had a 991.2 GT3.
You could have had a lot of cars than
For
this.
that,
But
yeah.
Anyway, how's everyone's week been? Sean, what's been going on this week?
Oh, dude, my week has been pretty boring, man. Pretty boring. Just regular business stuff. So nothing too exciting. I got to get out and drive the BMW, which was
The
great.
E9?
I drove the E9,
Ooh, nice.
which was nice. It kind of goes to what we're kind of talking about later on, but I actually
Where'd you
enjoyed
take it?
Just around here, just around the area. I didn't go on any particular drives, but I'm actually inspired to possibly do one this weekend because I always forget how good that car is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The M30s are a special motor.
Yeah,
The weather's finally nicer. And the heat is pretty much over, right?
exactly.
It's still kind of hot in my neighborhood. Like it was 90 degrees today, and but I'm in a hoodie today. Like you could tell like everyone is like wanting to make this stop now.
Yeah.
So we're getting close.
Summer was pretty long this time.
Well, the crazy thing is on the hill where I work at is, it's 100 degrees everywhere else, but there it's like 65. So I'm long sleeve in a sweater
Yeah, it's nice
with
here.
a heater on
Yeah.
every day there.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. Like I was driving to the studio today, the warehouse, and the only spot that was covered in fog was right here. And I'm like, this is my weather. I love the fog.
Yeah.
And it like dropped 20 degrees, and I'm like, this is so nice. But that's good. I mean, yeah, the M30s are great little car. They're good GT things, so they're good to cruise around in. At the limit, they kind of fall off, but like the E9s are special cars.
Yeah.
I would like to own one at some point.
Yeah.
You know?
What I actually not a big fan of convertibles, but I love the convertible kind of experience that you have in that car. It's like, it's more or less a fishbowl all around.
Yeah. Pillarless
there's no
coupes are like
pillars.
a cheat code, which
Yeah.
is another thing we're going to talk about in later on.
It's super
in this
airy
podcast.
and like beautiful
Yeah.
visibility everywhere.
Yeah.
It's nice.
BJ, what about you? How's your week been?
It's been okay. So I drove the K car, the Beat, today here because the Cayman's in the shop for getting all the brakes replaced. So it's at 125,000 miles. So I'm getting all the brakes changed, coolant pump changed preventively, bit of stuff. Just regular maintenance and consumables. So I'll get it back middle of next week. So just driving around the Beat. until then. Yep.
I was telling VJ earlier that it was the first time I've actually seen the Beat, and it is a great looking car. That silver on there. The yellow one is nice, but I really like that silver on there. It complements it very well. The silver and the black accents here and there. It's
Such
really
a
nice.
sleek 90s thing, right? Like
Yeah.
the Pininfarina design. It's
Totally.
aged pretty well. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it
Where
has,
silver
really
is
has.
probably like the worst color to get on most cars because it's just so bland.
It works.
doesn't- Yeah, it really works on that car.
What year is our Beat?
93.
93. I mean, 90s cars really do. Most 90s cars look good in like the like monotone, got like beige, silver, black,
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
It's just the way that things were styled.
I have 2 Pininfarina cars now. The Peugeot is also a Pininfarina.
You're a collector now. You're a collector of fine Italian vehicles.
Fine Italian design.
Yeah. My week's been pretty good. Business is starting to pick up again, which is interesting because I didn't really expect it to, just based off of everything that's happening. But specifically today, I got like a bunch of new inquiries. So like we're now like fully booked for September, which is crazy.
Nice.
Which is cool. Earlier this week, I got to detail a car that I didn't know existed called Lancia Appia. It's a kind of Soviet-looking thing, but like apparently it was like pretty. Well, they can't. Wikipedia needs money, but so this is an interesting little car. It was this color, this exact spec. The seats are like couches, which is really interesting. Suicide doors,
Nice.
which seems super unsafe. But like it just crazy to think that this car was available at the same time the Aurelia was. It's a column shift car. Inside, it feels almost identical to a 2CV if you've driven a 2CV. In fact, the air conditioning is literally the same situation where you just open a vent that's a hole in the dash and air comes in, which is why it made me think this car had to be like an economy car or like a Soviet era thing.
Yeah.
But the guy was talking to me about like, oh yeah, this is actually like a pretty pricey car, kind of like a 5 Series looking like competitor kind of thing. Even though 5 Series didn't exist back then, but like a
This
new
was
class kind of car, you know?
Designed pre-war
Yeah,
and
it was
sold still pretty late.
it was pre-war, sold past through the war, which is why the design and the why this car looks so cheap, but I guess was expensive.
It looks like late 40s, early 50s sort of styling.
Yeah, it's in late 60s, late 60s car, and it has a V4, which is interesting.
Oh, it has a truck.
Yeah, I mean you know that's how it goes. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. This guy is he goes to Sun Salon a lot. He has the green Citroen DS.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
Yeah, so I'm going to be detailing that too at the shop, and he has a bunch of other very unique and interesting cars, which I'm really excited to see. And this will be at the Tiny Car Show also. If you're
Nice.
interested.
Cool.
I'm gonna probably put it right next to Mo's Z1. I think would be a fun
Good contrast.
contrast.
Nice. Yeah. So yes, for those that can make it, we have a tiny car show every year. It's an annual event. We do it here at the Vault HQ, but we will have a BMW Z1 here, which we've seen it at the shows a couple times. But you know, if you haven't seen it in person, it is a pretty impressive car.
And I'd like to personally apologize to Spencer because his K car is coming in to the port one day after.
That's
in
always
the
how it works out.
Yeah, well,
It's
same
in
thing
the-
with Jake.
Jake, bless
It's
you.
in the
Yeah.
middle of the Pacific Ocean right now.
Yeah. So there's no way of getting it. But anyway, what's everyone been interested in right now? Are you thinking about buying anything? I know you were thinking last week that you were wanting to buy some stuff, but you were kind of not sure.
Well, yeah, you know, I was still unsure, and then I saw, you know, you roll up in that Benz again today, and I'm like, man, that's a beautiful car.
I drove it for you. I wanted you to see it. My dad finally finished. He put the wheels on and and like dropped it and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
this thing looks really nice now.
Dude, if I brought that thing home, man, I would get so many points with the wifey. She loves
Which
old
one again?
Mercedes.
The 126 560 SEO, what black with red, blue black, it's metallic red.
Pillarless, right?
No,
No?
it's a sedan.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love a pillarless. Come on, though. I mean, that's like a cheat code. But that brings us into the topic for this week, and it's what are the best cars for the fall. So the times are changing. Weather's getting a little bit better. The colors are changing. The vibes are a little bit different. Overall, in my opinion, this is the best time to go for drives because you're never really like annoyed with like the air conditioning because you don't have to use it. You can take basically anything out and drive it and use it to your advantage. So I thought it would be interesting to just go over our top 6, best cars for the fall in the Bay Area. Obviously, it's different for other areas. But
Yeah.
the Bay Area, like the fall is the best. Like it really
Yeah.
is. Like everything
Yeah.
is like 70 degrees the whole time. It's like still sunny out. 8 o'clock still. It's like
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, air's good, crisp in some areas. The roads are as good as they're going to be in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
You know, considering potholes, cracks, and everything else. So, yeah,
So VJ,
I just went with the colors. So I always loved orange 2002s.
Yeah.
Because they look like the Halloween orange pumpkin color. So, like if I ever bought a 2002, it would be in this color. I would probably name it pumpkin or something stupid like that. Because it just fits this car. It just fits the fall vibes, the orange color, everything. So yeah, it'll be super cool to cruise in this during fall and like park it next to like a tree, just like turning. It's really nice. Yeah.
yeah. 2002s are definitely timeless classics.
Yeah. This particular one has an S14 swap,
Oh, sweet.
so it rips for sure.
yeah, S14 has fender flares, which are interesting looking on 2002s nonetheless.
There was a pretty active Vault member / meet attendant who had one of these.
Mm-hmm.
He moved out a year or so ago.
Yep.
But he had a beautiful, amazing build 2002 with an S14.
Yeah, shout out to Daniel Cooper.
Yeah.
His 2002 is different than other 2002s.
Yeah, it was
like,
insanely clean. And
yeah,
well done.
it's his like the love of his life. Like his dumped time and money and effort into this thing, has gone through multiple iterations, has basically made the suspension literally perfect. He's on like a fully custom like ECU tuning program, like the best possible S14 build.
Stroked board or whatever.
Everything, and I was talking to him. He's like, he wouldn't let anyone drive it, you know. And he was tempted to let me drive it for a little bit, and then he moved. But he was like, yeah, if I was still into like, he cares so much about this car. It's like such a good story. But yeah, I met him first at one of my first ever St. Mary's Carson coffees, and he used to work at Fantasy Junction.
Okay.
And back then the car was crazy, and then he's been through like a million different iterations since then. But yeah, 2002s are cool.
Yeah.
They feel kind of agricultural, but like
They're a great Bay Area car.
they're a perfect Bay Area car. You can kind of just get in it. I mean, like for the most part, they're carbureted. I mean, obviously you can get a TI or like an S14 swap, but like the carbureted ones are so cool. Like a 2002 just straight up is fine.
They came in
1600s
such
are good
fun
too.
colors, also like green.
Everything,
and
just like
blues.
Mercedes, just like the
They
Mercedes
came in fun
123s, you can get them at anything basically. Back when cars were still like a creative outlet. Another car that we just chose was Sean's E36.
Yeah, I recently had the chance to take out Sean's Dakar yellow E36 for a drive and the back roads around here. I spent a whole day putting miles on it on some of the beautiful roads, and
Yeah, I noticed.
yeah.
How many miles did you put on it?
I don't know. I just drove. Yeah, it was perfect for the back roads. Yeah, great for commuting, great for back roads, great for highway.
It's like really the perfect car. I mean, like if
the
for
best
those
road going M3.
Yeah, for those who don't know about Sean's specific E36, I mean, like the suspension's built, the motor top end is built, the exhaust is custom, like everything about this car is like literally perfect. It's like
It's,
a dream of an E36.
Super tight and everything, and the
Like
induction
you couldn't
noise
build
is-
it. Like it's
induction-
like perfect.
Yeah, the induction on this is incredible. I love the noise. I was just
Yeah, I mean the induction on E36s in general is perfect, but like this one is specifically good because of the build.
I kept driving it next to those redwoods and just rolling down the windows, hearing the induction bounce of the.
Yeah, my favorite part of
sounds-
I had an E36 M3 for a little bit, and and I had it down in cold air intake. And my favorite part of the car was where you're on the highway and there's like a cement divider on one side.
next to it.
All you have to do is put in fourth at like 2,000 RPM and floor it, and all of a sudden you hear that whistle of the air intake, and then all of a sudden like the car like waking up. And it's funny because the European ones with the individual throttle bodies don't sound like that. It's like this weird like noise resonating off the plastic intake manifold that's like making the sound, and still to this day is like probably my favorite sounding like sonorous note on a BMW. Obviously the M30s from the E9 and like the M5s and stuff sound more like crazy, but like that car is like sonorously the best.
Yeah. See, oddly enough, is when you mention that, I always thought like the European motor was better, but I've heard mixed things about it. Where people actually, like some of the purists actually prefer the American motor versus the European.
Well, if you think about it, like at least in the States,
and it's less power.
Yeah, it's way less power. I think
Yeah.
the European motor has like 300 and something horsepower, and then the US one has 240. Yours is different, but like
Yeah.
because
It's
it's
built,
it's
yeah,
built.
yeah.
But Jason Camisas did a video.
He did a video, yeah.
comparing them, and the 0 to 60 times were identical, I think. And he was saying that the delta of price versus US versus Euro is not worth it. I've never driven a European one, and I would imagine that the individual throttle bodies offer a more interesting like experience, but like your car is like perfect, and my car was perfect too. My car was just stock with the air intake. So like, I mean, like I don't know. I think an E36 M3 is still today like probably the biggest bargain
Yep.
M car.
Like
you
for
can
young
get.
people who are disappointed by lack of affordability, like the E36 is a good platform to start.
Yeah, I
with.
mean, like a couple years ago, like in 2018, 2019, these were really expensive. Like good ones were like 30 grand, 40 grand. Yours is obviously different, but like you can get a stock one still for like 10 grand and have a really good experience. You won't get the Sean's level without spending another 60 on parts and stuff, but like,
the owner I bought it from, or the original owner on that car, I got a binder, and he literally spent over 100,000 on parts and service, all from Dynan.
yeah.
Yeah, all from Dynan.
Yeah, that car is definitely you could tell. I mean, every time I take that car out, it's my favorite of your collection, and I always take it out, and I'm like, I need to own one of these and again, but then I'm like, it won't be this one though, and then I'll be sad, so I don't buy one.
Spoiled.
Literally cannot buy an E36 because of that car. That car is so good that I can't. I just like whenever I want to need my E36, I just send you a text.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a weekend free. Sean, you're picking anything carbureted. Do you have any
So during this time of the year, I think just carbureted cars, even old cars, but really carbureted cars, they just sound so good right now. Typically, you don't have the hot weather, so they're not bogged down. Everything's crisp. The sounds and everything's making, it's always so good. So I love this time of the year to bring out the old stuff.
anything specific that you're thinking of for carburation?
Is I've been driving the Mini a lot. And I have to admit, man, Ace has that car dialed in. That car is so damn good. It's so fun. I think, maybe VJ doesn't think so. So he had a little bit of trouble driving.
I stalled at every single traffic light because
Yeah.
I didn't know you had to like do a full bore launch every time you have to go off. I was driving like a fuel injection car, like letting off the clutch super low RPM.
Was
And
that your
just,
first carbureted car?
No, I've driven like all other ones, but this needed like a lot of RPMs to take off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to drop the
Probably
clutch.
because there's just not much power going on there or something.
Yeah,
I mean, you just need some oomph to get going.
yeah, I just didn't go at low RPM, so you have to drop the clutch.
I drove it in the old version
Yeah.
up and down the street. That was it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's carburetor tuned for higher end. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
He probably tuned it specifically for like fun, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be more. I mean, you got to punch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give
you
it
gotta
gas.
punch it.
Yeah, I was too nice to it. And I was like putting my hand up at every traffic light. I stalled, and then like the bus is behind, like honking. Yeah.
But definitely, the Z isn't carbureted, but right about now, the Z is certainly probably my best car.
It's gonna sound like
drive.
a Ferrari V12.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. Another car that I have never driven your Z in its original form, so I don't know what it was like before, but I'm looking forward to seeing you back in it. You know, it'll be good.
Yeah. We're supposed to actually have it turned over next week. We have a commitment for next week. So, but everything is almost back together. Anyway,
Nice.
so. How about you?
So I picked two cars that.
Both Mercedes.
No, this one's an Alpha, and I was thinking Alpha. I think any Spider. I picked this Duetto, but like any Spider, I think is perfect for the fall. In fact, I think the newer you go, like if you get like a nice. Well, these
That's
are all
nice. I like that.
This is crazy. I mean, this is not what I'm thinking. I mean, this is very stunning.
Flying saucer.
But
Flying
this is not. We're not thinking about the UFO cars, right? Or the saucer cars.
Disco Volante.
Yeah, but like something like this, like 50, 60 grand, I think, right? Gets you one of like a pretty nice one.
The rear end of these are like so beautiful.
Yeah, and you get like such a cool sound, such an interesting car. and you get to feel the wind in your hair, and like, I don't know. I think it's a good experience. I want to get like a cheap one, like just like an 80s or 90s one like this.
Injection
for like
injected, right?
Yeah, injected. Even an injected one. I just for like $7,000, just to experience it. I think this is a great fall car.
I think once they became the square shaped, it's not as beautiful as the.
Yeah, these is
the
definitely
round
not
one.
as interesting.
Yeah.
But I still would buy one because they're cheap.
Telephone dial wheels.
Yeah, they're cheap and they're interesting. So yeah, that's my first
I
one.
like that one.
This one?
I like the hardtop. Yeah.
Yeah, they're interesting. I mean, I would definitely never use it. I would put the convertible. I would be in convertible mode always, and I would only use it for the weekends.
You know, that would be pretty sick. I think if the rear end was a little bit more flared out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The bumper's a bit weird in this later ones.
Yeah, these ones are crazy.
Yeah.
These ones are wild. I mean, these should be worth nothing, and they're probably not that great to drive. But I would still get one just for the experience of the fall experience. Well, that's a terrible photo, but that's my first one. And then my second one, I always say this, but a C126. Not
Is that the one you have outside?
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
this is the sedan. This is a W126. But a C126, a coupe,
yeah.
a pillarless coupe.
Yeah.
This is like, in my opinion, this is like the perfect fall car because you could put the windows down just like your E9. It's comfortable. It smells great inside. Has enough power to get moving, but it's quiet.
Is it like a 2-speed or something?
Well, that's what it feels like, but it's I think it's a 4-speed, but like
Okay.
it doesn't feel like it's shifting because it's revving at the like 2,000 RPM the whole time.
Yeah.
And like it just moves quietly and discreetly, and it smells luxurious inside, and it feels luxurious inside. The doors close like vaults. It's like amazing, and I think this is like probably quintessential Mercedes. At the SEC specifically, is like the best car to drive in the winter. The fall, the holiday season is like the best. The trunk is big. Everything about this car is amazing. It really is. And if you haven't driven one, you really should. Any of them, even if it's a diesel, like just get in one and experience it because like the build quality is like insanely good. It really is.
I remember when seeing these out when I was younger, and every time you'd see one, you'd be like, "Man, that guy moved a lot of dope."
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
mean,
should
like
be white. The car needs to be white.
Right?
this is a great color too. I mean, like it's interesting because like I mean back in the day, I mean even like in some of the like music videos of the time, like these cars were like super super in.
Baller
Huge,
cars.
Yeah, they were baller cars, and they really the coupe specifically, I think,
Yeah.
right? I mean, so like, which makes sense. An S-Class coupe is definitely like a statement, but nowadays it's like, it's almost as niche as like an Alfa Romeo,
I drive a 560 SEC.
See, there's a song about I don't know about that. I know.
Every little step.
Yeah, comment down below if you know that song. I don't know it, but Sean does. But anyway,
Ooh,
yeah,
love the seats.
I would love to. I need to own a SEC again.
Why
at
are
some
the
point.
tires so small? It's like-
Which ones?
the tires look narrow, too narrow for
Yeah.
this.
Well, this is a pre-facelift, so
So
it
small.
still has the bunts, which
Needs wider tires.
yeah, well, so it does. They like the facelift one is the one you want, which is this one, with the bigger wheels, bigger tires. The interior is more modern, but you still want to go. You want to go coupe, personally. That's my opinion, at least.
Nice.
But yeah, but that brings us into the marketplace finds. This week, VJ posted a set of photos from the Bentley Turbo R, which unfortunately right now is not moving because it doesn't stop right now.
Wait, what?
Well,
There's always a story with that car.
what?
I said there's always a story with that car.
Well, yeah. So we drove it a lot. I drove it for a month straight. Probably added a couple thousand miles to it.
Yeah.
Which
And-
you will not financially recover from.
Yeah, we drove it a lot.
It's 9 miles per gallon.
Yeah, probably 400 gallons of gas. But I think a line punctured or something. So it's every time you turn the car on, the moment you push the brakes, all the fluid leaks on the ground.
Oh, man.
So there's no brakes right now.
This is that mineral oil, right?
Yeah, the mineral oil leaks all over the place, and then it stains the floor.
And then the EPA comes knocking
Yeah.
on your door.
No, yeah. And in fact, if you go to my shops, fun fact, if you still to this day, if you go to my shop, you see 2 streams of stains leaving the shop. Both of them are from the Bentley, from that. and it's like a permanent thing. Because like if you think about it, mineral oil like stains wood and stuff. It's like what you use to like treat stuff like that. So I love the car, but it needs work, and it's going to be fixed hopefully this fall, hopefully soon. But VJ nonetheless did a photo set with film and got some great photos that I'll hopefully get onto the podcast right here. And they're good photos, and it got me thinking about other Bentleys that I would want to buy. So I found 2 marketplace finds today. One, they're both not as good as the Turbo R in my opinion. But this one is a convertible.
Azure.
It's an Azure Coupe. Same underneath as the BTR, but better fuel management.
Such a tank.
Yeah, and this is probably a better driving car than the we have. Definitely in the way like it runs and stuff. The interior is basically the same, you know.
Those are so sick.
Yeah,
It's so nice.
they're fun. They're fun. I think a convertible Bentley would be fun to have. And this is definitely more reliable than the one we're rocking with all the time. Because it's the same car. It's just been it's been engineered better, you know. But also pro tip, for the love of God, like vacuum. You guys don't see it very well, but on my screen right here,
Yeah, we can see all the trash.
it's so bad. And if you're selling a Bentley convertible, like vacuum, like spend 2 minutes on vacuuming it. Like this loses thousands of dollars value. Pro tip: just get good photos and clean the car.
He's probably like, I can't spend any more money on this car.
Yeah, and it shows. It's 16 grand. This should be like triple that, you know. But anyway, that's my first find, and then the second one is
Same
uh-oh.
thing.
Whoops. Well,
That works.
I had another
We're
one.
big
but-
on Bentleys.
Yeah, big on Bentleys. I must have lost the other one, but there was another Bentley. Anyway, that brings us into the Discord finds. So if you aren't familiar with the VALT Member Discord, link down in the description. For members, it's totally free to join. We're super active in it. We're posting marketplace finds. We're posting drives to go on, events that are happening that aren't ours, all that stuff. It's
Sim racing.
Yeah. There's so much stuff going on in
Good
Discord.
buys. Random buys.
Yeah. So the first one is the 1991 Chevrolet Astro Passenger.
That's not a good buy.
Wesley-
That's a random buy, but that's not a good one.
So Wesley found this for us. And
The snowmobile.
yeah, so it's, I don't know what it is, but it's this. And so that's just crazy. This is just part of what you can experience as a member and part of the Discord. Once again, link down in the description. Anyone's able to post. So if you find something interesting like this,
Vladimir is the name of the seller.
yeah, it's probably Putin's personal car.
Exactly. That thing came out of the Soviet Union
Oh my god.
illegally.
Where's the steering?
It was sold to the black market.
That's the steering wheel, probably right here.
This is
You
election.
could buy
this is
warheads
election
with this, dude.
interference.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like the 2 bars probably move the tires. You know?
Oh wait, that is the steering
Like
wheel.
Yeah, I
bicycle.
guarantee you it's steering wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, there's. Oh my god.
Anyway, that's the first find. It's
Vladimir.
pretty wild.
This Putin's burner account.
Yeah, it's Putin's burner account. The second find, I don't. Oh, I found this. Well, I put it in the Discord. Oh no, I didn't find this. Never mind.
Subaru.
This is a Super STD.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Jackson found.
An STD.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
Subaru
Jackson
was wilding.
They have
Jackson found
STI and an STD both.
Oh my god.
They got all the stuff. Yeah.
So this is definitely like economy garbage car, but it's interesting that it exists nonetheless. I think Jackson found this. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but yeah, it is
Please-
pretty
Please
crazy.
take it off the screen.
Yeah,
That's
and because for some reason I was dumb and
You bought
didn't post a second Bentley thing. I'm gonna add one more to the list here. I found a very interesting C-Class Mercedes. If it's still around, it might be sold because it's been a couple days. But it's a C32 AMG. Yeah, it's look.
Hey.
Boat.
Like a boat. Joe,
Not putting that.
Joe, what are you?
Dude, my algorithm's fucked up. This is, I don't think we need to put this on the podcast, but like my algorithm right now, for some reason is super bad.
Yeah.
Like
Welcome to
really,
the club, my friend.
really bad right now for that stuff. Like Allie will like look over my shoulder. I'm looking for a card, and she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I'm not clicking on it. Don't. If I look too close, it'll keep putting more."
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, comment down below what marketplace finds you are seeing, and if you're a member and you're interested in actually contributing to the Discord, please link in the description. It's really fun. You should definitely join. We're doing stuff all the time. Like VJ said, we're doing like sim racing. We're going on drives, especially in the fall. We're gonna do a lot of stuff. But that brings us in the scenario. Might be a quicker podcast today, but that's life, and it'll be a good one anyway. So the Tiny Car Show is next weekend. So for those who don't know, the Tiny Car Show is basically a celebration of K cars and their culture as like the main thing. But on the outside of the event, we have tiny cars from all over the place, like Isettas and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting to put us in the shoes of people who are going to the event, but bringing non-K cars. So what kind of tiny car are you bringing to an event of the Tiny Car Show? So I'll go first.
Okay.
I picked a Nash Metropolitan.
It's American.
Ooh.
It's an American car. I've always thought these were cute and weird looking, and I think they probably drive bad. But like,
It's a very confused car.
yeah.
Is that one of those boats too?
Exactly. I thought it was, but I don't think it is.
Hudson.
Which is why I like it so much, because I love the idea of the boat car. I think it's hilarious. And so this is kind of like that, like this is a hilarious, like without the roof looks horrible,
The
but
lines are really funny in that thing.
the lines are funny. And look at this thing. I mean, no power,
Is it
guaranteed.
the same motor as a Mini?
In
Looks kind of
Looks
like it.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's like
But it's like the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
I
looks
bet it
like
is.
a British guy designed the car, but an American did the bodywork, something like that.
I love the emblem.
Yeah. I think these
Look
cars
at
are so playful,
Side view is so funny.
Yeah, the cars are playful, and whenever I see one, I'm like, this guy has made a big decision to get this, because I think they're like 20 grand. So you could do a lot with 20 grand if you're gonna get vintage American,
Yeah.
So I guess I've always
like
enjoyed looking at
This
these cars.
style does not work for a car that's shorter than like 20 feet.
No, not at all. But for some reason I've
Car needs to be
always
20
been
feet longer.
really, really intrigued with them. I would never buy them with fire trucks. We put this right next to Todd's car at the event. That's what I would do. I've always been intrigued. I would never own one, but I would love to drive one. So if you have one and you would let me drive it, by all means, please. And I get, this is for sure a mini motor that I'm thinking about it. But that's mine. Sean,
Dude, with mine, I know life is good, so why not go all the way and go out with a Ford RS200?
Nice.
yeah, so RS200 does technically count as a tiny car. It is very small.
This is like the evolved form of Pokemon evolution of your car.
Yeah.
Like AutoZam AZ1 evolves.
Yeah, so
into
the RS200 is the final form of the AutoZam. These things are extremely expensive, but like they're obviously worth
They're
it.
so fucking cool.
They're like
They're
rally
so
stage
cool.
cars.
AutoZam went to college.
A couple of them in the Bay Area. I've seen a black one.
On the street?
Yeah, yeah.
Ken Block's car.
No, like a straight up RS200. I went to a rally last year in November,
Okay.
and there was two of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like they're like the elite people that
Yeah.
can just, they don't care if they just give the cop a card, and the card's like, oh, the cop's like, oh fuck, But anyway, these are really cool, and they're fun to see in person. They're wild.
They're wild cars, yeah.
VJ, we picked two cars for VJ.
Yeah, in honor of the final episode of the Grand Tour this week. So Clarkson, Hammond, and May released the very final episode of their collaboration today with the Top Gear team, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're on Grand Tour now on Amazon. They made their final episode.
Uh-huh.
So one of their previous specials had featured James May driving this exact car called Crosley, which is, this was the one that James May drove. He drove one which is probably white-ish or ivory.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that specific one.
Yeah, it's just like the most ridiculously dangerous car you could possibly drive. And it was apparently designed to be able to fit through the door of the owner's house. So it was like super narrow.
Oh
and
my
yeah,
God.
that's how. Yeah, that's the Crosley, which is famous from the Grand Tour. Yeah, there it is. Apparently he paid 20,000 pounds or something to buy this. He was drunk and he was bidding on an auction, and he paid way too much.
Yeah, so apparently Crossley is a refrigerator company
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
that made money and built a car.
Yep.
So that's fun.
Basically, the car had to fit through the same door that the refrigerators fitted through, something like that.
Yeah.
I saw one of these at the a little car show during Montreal Car Week. That reminded me of this show.
Yeah. These are wild. And it makes sense why they never caught on, because they're super ugly.
They're terrible looking.
Kit car.
Truly
backyard
offensive to look at. Yeah. And then VJ's second find was an Isetta 600, which is the limousine
stuff.
version.
The full fat luxury.
Yeah, so this is the
limousine
long boy.
version of the Isetta. It's like
You could fit 3 people instead of 2.
It's the Maybach of the Isetta.
What's the horsepower in these?
7,
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Lawnmower.
Well, it goes 50 miles per hour and 50 miles per gallon.
Yeah, right. If you go 50
Two-cylinder.
miles an hour, that thing, you've got a death wish.
600cc 2-cylinder. Yep.
Okay.
113 miles, probably restoration miles. But like, yeah, I mean, these are
Look at the tires on that.
2 CV
man.
level of slow.
No,
Yeah.
this is lower.
Yeah,
than that.
you can't. And you know that you were before the podcast. You were asking if they were all 4 wheels. I think you could get you can get a version of the car where there's 2 wheels in the front and then there's 2 in the back,
Two
but
in the
they're
back
like
with the
they're
small-
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
It's streamlined.
So that is true.
That's
You
what
could
I'm
you could like probably the smaller ones,
shaped like a fish.
the 500s. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing about this
Handbrake?
car that is interesting, other than the fact that it has a door that
The
opens.
steering opens with the door
Yeah,
for you to be able to get into this
which is really confidence inspiring, because then when you get in an
crash.
accident,
It just
you
impales
just get trapped and you get impaled, and then you get trapped in the car forever.
But this one has doors to.
Yeah,
This
because
one
it's
has,
a 4-door.
This one has doors. The
This
other
is the
one doesn't.
limo. The other one
just opens
is
from
straight
front,
up a
Coffin.
can.
It's a coffin.
Yeah, it's literally a coffin.
But they look cute. They're kind of
Yeah, I mean, they're fun to see whenever one comes to the show. It's like really fun, and a couple of them will probably come to the Tiny Car Show.
Actually, no. That one opens the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the
This
same
idea.
car, but they're probably just like a backseat was like glued onto it or something.
Yeah.
long wheelbase.
Yeah.
Landulate.
Yeah, this is the luxury version. And then I think we can't end the podcast without an honorable mention. The Reliant Robin
It looks like it's crashed. in
is
this
another tiny
picture.
car.
Crashed
that's
like
straight
1
up.
second after.
It just is just a thing that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Oh.
How did they get away with selling these? Like,
That's a great question.
There was no safety regulation. so,
yeah, right.
so
So this is the car that Top Gear famously drove around and kept flipping over.
Clarkson.
Another one,
He
yeah. I
just
mean, this is a very
flipped
British
this-
humor car. Yeah,
Yeah.
Clarkson flipped it over. Mr.
Oh
Bean flipped it
no,
over.
I've crashed
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah. So,
I'm reading this, and this guy has had 15 of these.
yeah, you have to because you
Because
probably
you
just
crash
destroy
it
them.
every day.
you destroy them every couple of
They're
minutes.
like eggs.
Yeah, they're eggs, literally. And he's just happy. He seems like he's enjoying himself. I would not be enjoying
It's
myself.
wild to see it on the highway in the US.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this car
Like,
goes
if
on the
you
highway.
get hit by a wind at like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, I guarantee you this car doesn't go on the highway.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that speed image. Looks like a GTI, but with like part of it missing. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for as you can tell, I'm excited for the Tiny Car Show.
Yeah.
It'll be really fun. For those who haven't been to it before and are in the Bay Area, it's definitely a thing you should definitely consider going to.
What's always fun too is the things that we don't know are coming, because we'll just get some random stuff that'll just show up.
Yeah, I mean, like last year we had a random SA100 come,
Yeah.
which was super fun.
there's
You
a
know,
Cheeto colored Subaru, like I don't know what it's called, Subaru 600 or something, 360.
Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
360, I think. Yeah,
360. It's got
Which-
a rear engine, air cooled.
yeah, it's like 2-stroke burning oil, like killing everybody kind of thing if it idles too long. Actually, 2 of them came last time. One of them was like a beach like buggy thing. They
Is
converted
Daniel Wu's is his Honda was the S600?
600.
Is that still here in the Bay Area?
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Actually, he moved to LA, so I'm not
LA,
sure.
yeah.
I
love
don't
that
know.
car.
That's a good question. That's a good code. That
Yeah.
was good. It's a good one though.
I saw it in his storage when we did the Walt shoot with him. I saw the car and sat
Just
in-
recently?
not recently, like 2 years ago.
Okay,
when Walt
okay.
did a video with him.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I sat inside that S600. Yeah,
Yeah. it's a
super
nice car.
nicely done.
Nice
It's a
car.
black car with red interiors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw it at a what is it, the San Francisco Auto Show, the Moscone Center. One year, I was like, wow, it's like one of the best cars here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of cars,
especially at the auto show. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's falling off.
Nice.
But yeah, that'll do it. Unless we have anything else to close on.
That's it. I'm gonna go home in the beat
Yeah,
before the sun
easy to
sets.
go home and be before the sun
Yeah.
goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be idiots and buy $200,000 Honda S2000.
Yeah, and if you have a car that you really care about and you're thinking about selling it, wait a couple of years or wait a little bit until the market corrects itself, because it's not a good time right now
Yeah.
to be selling a car. And be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new. We post these every single week. So without any more, we'll see you later. See you
See
later.
you next week.